evening. Welcome. This is Hot Edition. We're live from Anusa about Desawe Kanda, also live on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale, and also on W93.5 in Wine Beyond. We're live on Facebook or YouTube as well at 3FM 927. Also streaming live on X. You can join us with your thoughts, views, comments, and opinions. Read out to you and to the rest of the world. I am Alfred Ocansey.
And I'm Treve.
This evening, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey demands immediate arrest and investigation following an attack on the IGP's Anti-Galamsey task force at BONTRESO in the Ashanti region. Stay with us. We've got details for you on their demands. Also, Ghana Private Road Transport Union of TUC and other commercial transport operators threatened to demonstrate against government over the delay in fixing the Pokuase-Nsawam road. Electoral Commission conducts balloting for the Akwatia by-election as political activities pick up ahead of the September 2 parliamentary by-election there also. This evening, President John Dramani Mahama charges African political parties to prioritize the interest of women and the youth to secure a better future for the continent. All these, plus the latest in business and sport for the next 1 hour here on Hot Edition. Let's settle for a summary of the news now.
The Asante Hene Otumfuo Osei II has asked politicians not to turn the procurement of a plane for the president and helicopters for the military into partisan politics. He wants political actors to see such acquisitions as matters of national interest rather than political convenience. Otumfuo was speaking during a visit to the Minshia Palace by the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Hene, following the helicopter crash that occurred last Wednesday, August 6, 2025, at Adanse Farm in the Ashanti region. A coalition of commercial transport operators, including the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, of TUC, and the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, GRTCC, has issued an ultimatum to the government to fix the deplorable Pokuase-Nsawam road immediately or face a nationwide protest. In a press statement released on August 14, 2025, the transport operators called on the Minister for Roads and Highways to make the road a priority. They condemned the current state of the stretch as unmotorable and a source of extreme dangers to all motorists, commuters, and residents in the area. The coalition also highlighted the severe economic and operational challenges faced by its members. The Accra Circuit Court has refused bail for Wontumi TV presenter Echenkwa Nana Kofi Asare, who was arrested after making on-air comments linking President John Mahama to the recent military helicopter crash that claimed 8 lives. He was picked up by police on Tuesday, August 12, following the broadcast, which authorities say contained unsubstantiated allegations related to the August 6 crash. During Thursday's court proceedings, the judge declined the defense team's bail application, ordering that the accused be remanded into police custody pending further investigation. Former Minister of Education Dr. Yawose Edutrum has formally entered the race for the New Patriotic Party's NPP presidential candidacy, picking up nomination forms to contest in the party's flag-bearer election slated for January 2026. Dr. Edutrum, who served under former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as Education Minister, is seeking to lead the party into the 2028 general elections. His bid adds to the growing list of contenders vying to succeed the current leadership. The Bosomtwi Member of Parliament is widely recognized for championing education reforms, particularly in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM development, and the expansion of secondary education. We have this and a lot more on 3news.com.
Let's get into the stories now here on Hot Edition, as the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining is calling for sweeping arrests and immediate investigations following an attack on the Inspector General of Police, that's the IGP Anti-Galamsey task force at BONTRESO in the Ashanti region. Tensions flared in the Manson Edubia enclave when the IGP Special Anti-Galamsey task force came under heavy attack from a group of illegal miners at BONTRESO. Now, the task force, which was acting on a tip-off, moved in on an active Galamsey site where an excavator was seen digging for gold and causing extensive environmental destruction. The operation quickly turned violent, leaving 2 police officers injured in a fierce confrontation with the miners. Convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, in a Facebook post, condemned the attack and called for government immediate attention in dealing with this particular canker. If you go on our Facebook page right now, at 3FM 927, we're showing you exactly what happened in the Bontreso area when the police came into that contact with the residents, that's the community in the area, and in fact that led to an altercation leading to 2 police officers sustaining injuries. Now, what we do know is that the coalition is asking for a swift intervention by government to also sack the assembly member for the area, because according to them, he led that particular move by the residents to attack the Anti-Galamsey Taskforce by the IGP. So that is what we are learning right now, and it's one that we keep an eye on. We'll hear from the coalition shortly, but this is what the leader of the task force told journalists after this incident.
Area, and this area we can all see how the land has been degraded. It's so terrible. We came and met 2 excavators on the site, and then upon sighting us, one driver to the excavator ran away, the other one was still in action, and then we arrested him. Or whilst about to move him, 2 gentlemen came forward that they were the owners of the excavators, and all of a sudden the community started mobilizing to attack. Some started even throwing stones to attack the police. I think basically the area is becoming chaotic, but with our professionalism, we are just trying to make sure that we secure the area and we'll be able to move the machines out of this jurisdiction. Thank you very much.
Confrontation just because fierce confrontation just because we are here with the state backing to make sure that we do what is right, and in the performance of our duty, some illegal miners felt that they can challenge the law by being violent towards the discharge of our lawful duty. In the community called BONTRESO, this morning at around 11:30 when we set out, we sighted an excavator busily destroying the environment, and the team moved in to interdict the said excavator. In the process of loading the excavator, the community illegal miners mobilized to stop us from carrying on with our lawful duty. And I think that will be the most nonsensical mindset of any individual, to think that he can challenge the state when we are carrying out our lawful duty. So that notwithstanding, we continue our operation. When we were about leaving the scene, the illegal miners mobilized and started pelting stones and other offensive objects to the team. And we needed to respond with the necessary force to quell the situation. And that is what we did. I told you that the most important thing is for you to protect yourself at all times. And in this situation, the core, you needed to protect yourself and protect life and property. and that is what we did. We were able to control the situation in the midst of violent confrontation when some of the suspects were firing pump-action guns. We did not retreat. We stand on our grounds and make sure that we defeated the threat and neutralized any threat that confronted us. The blockade was made to seize all the exit points for us not to be able to exit the area, which we unblocked all those blockades, and we are here. I am saying all these things to let you know the fight is not an easy one, and we were sworn to fight in the peril of our life.
So you hear the gunshots there that actually characterize the attack that the IGP's Anti-Galamsey Task Force were met with by these BONTRESO residents in the Ashanti region. And let's go on to the telephone because Prince Maurice Menu is the Amansia West District Chief Executive, is joining us right now. Menu, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Hot Edition.
Good evening.
Now, the videos and the pictures were saying quite worrying, to say the least, that the Anti-Galamsey Task Force set up by the IGP went into this place upon a video that Joy News journalist Erastus Asare had captured these illegal miners who had returned to the BONTRESO Forest Reserve to destroy the forest. Now, they go in there to effect arrest. They met an active Galamsey going on. They decide that they have to impound the excavators. The residents or the community members are mobilized to attack these police officers who are part of this task force, leading to two of them sustaining injuries. How come?
Okay, thank you. I think what I understand is that I wasn't at the scene yesterday. I had a call from the assembly member narrating what was going on to me on phone. What he told me was that they came to the site and actually they were not mining. There was excavator and a tipper truck loading some of the waste that we call it sump. Some of our people use it for their building and other stuff. So according to the assembly member over there, he told me that they were rather taking sand, not mining itself. That was why there was this kind of confrontation with the youth.
I see. But then, I mean, you are the chair of the District Security Council, correct?
Yes.
So beyond this initial briefing that you've gotten, what's the current state of affairs now? Has there been any identification of who exactly mobilized these community members to attack the police task force?
You see, it wasn't like someone mobilized them. I think they were there. The site is close to the town. So the people came from the town, not that someone mobilized them. It has been alleged that there was an assembly member who mobilized the boys, but per my investigation, it wasn't true. They came there by themselves.
I see. So in this case, are you siding already with the narrative in favor of the residents of the community, or you're also investigating this as an impartial arbiter to establish exactly what happened? Because I asked you about this mining. The task force says they went to meet an active illegal mining going on. You say that they told you that they weren't mining. Then there's this assertion as well that the assemblyman mobilized them. You say the assemblyman says he didn't. So what exactly happened?
I went to the town this morning to also look at things for myself. As I said earlier, I had a call yesterday. So I, the assembly member and then the commander of the team, we had a conference call. And the assembly member narrated that they were not mining. But he told me that they met excavator and a tipper truck. That is the commander. He said that they met excavator and a tipper truck. You understand? So they perceived that once they've seen the excavator and the tipper truck, it was mining. But actually, it wasn't mining. I don't know if you've been to a mining site before, you could understand what I'm saying. Because in a mining site, most of them don't use tipper truck, or they don't transport the load to different places. They wash it at the exact point they take the sand from.
I see. So you did the commander concede? You said you had a conference call with him. Did he concede that indeed what his men had seen there was not illegal mining going on?
To be very honest, he didn't concede. He said he met them doing that, doing mining. That is the excavator and the tipper truck. As I said, here we use their waste as a building materials. So
I get the point, but you see, if the commander didn't concede and he did insist that he met them engaging in illegal mining, why would you say that they weren't mining? You are the chair of the District Security Council. I mean, you should be interested in establishing exactly what happened.
I'm very much interested in it. That's why I said I went to the town today myself and I engaged other people, and I was informed that they were not mining. The reason why I'm confident in this is that that place is forced under Asanko Mines concession, and currently they have soldiers mining their concession, making sure that there's no illegal mining going on in their catchment areas. You understand?
I see. But then wouldn't you be interested in also instituting some investigation into this instead of just concluding that because you've spoken to the residents, what they are saying is true?
Today, we engaged the national security. They came to the grounds, and I think they're also investigating about the issue. And the local, the dissect members are also on grounds to ascertain what the true picture of the issue is.
Well, if the national security is already investigating, it's quite worrying to me to hear you already make conclusive statements that it is indeed not illegal mining because you had spoken to the residents and you believe that it is not illegal mining they were engaged in. That's quite worrying. That's you as the DCE.
You see, we are all fighting against this illegal mining, and none of us is condoning that act. You understand? Ever since I assumed office, I've engaged more than 20 communities, explaining to them the dangers of what they are doing. So if they are doing mining, I should be able to know, because I know the process, like how they do their mining. You understand? And I know if someone is also taking sand to build, I also know that. That's why I'm saying that what they were doing wasn't mining. Because in the mining, it involves excavator, their pump machines and other stuff. But when they went there, there was no pumping machine. There was only excavator and a tipper truck loading a sand.
Yes, but then the commander knows what he saw. That's why he said they were mining. But you say you know exactly what's going on and that they were not mining. But you were not at the site because you concede that you weren't there, correct?
Yes.
So you were told about what happened, but the commander was there. Commander insists that they were mining. You say they weren't mining based on what you were told by the community members.
It's a mining area, and it's a mining site where he met the excavator and the truck. It's a mining site. That is why maybe he's conceiving that they were mining.
So in the end, as the commander insists that they were mining, what are you, the chair of the District Security Council, going to do?
That's why I said I've instituted an investigation team to go on ground to ascertain what the true picture is.
See, but it appears that already the conclusion is made, and the outcome of this investigation you have instituted, which is not concluded yet, is already known. No, I'm saying that because you have instituted investigations have not ended yet, but you are telling me now that you believe they were not mining. So if the investigation comes out and they say they were actually mining.
I was explaining to the process in mining. Those who mine, they have their pumping machines, their washing plant and other stuff. You understand? So if you meet excavator and a tipper truck, you cannot conclude it's a mining. That's what I'm saying that.
But I'm going by what the commander who was there at the site is saying, as against you who were also giving a report. How about that?
Well, let's wait for my investigation team to also come out with their findings.
We'll keep an eye on this and see how things play out. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Menu.
You're welcome.
Prince Maurice Menu is the Amansia West DCE. This is an issue that we're keeping an eye on quite closely here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Daraboso is the Deputy Director for Arocha Ghana. It's an NGO that is also leading the fight against illegal mining in this country. Daro, thank you for joining us. I just got off the phone with the Amansia West DC. He's insisting that what was going on there was not illegal mining. I put it to him that the commander saw exactly what was going on, and he says it was illegal mining. He indicates that he has already instituted investigations. I'm just of the view that to the extent that investigations are ongoing, not concluded as yet, isn't it quite worrying that the DCE would take the position that there's no mining going on as what the commander was saying?
Good evening, Alfred. And I'm really finding it very difficult for a public servant like the DCE to be taking the side of the miners when the police are also working on behalf of the public and also a state agency. And so I believe that if the police team didn't have sufficient intelligence, they wouldn't have gone to the field in the first place. So for him to be contradicting that it was not, and that's why I think that I'm happy there is some effort to try and validate whether really the activity was illegal or not. But I don't think the police went to the ground knowing very well that that was a legitimate mining activity early. So, and I think it's about time maybe we all understand what exactly what we mean by illegal mining. It's not just because you have a license, you can still do whatever you want. It is your practices on the field that will let an officer, a verifying officer or an enforcer know whether your activity is illegal or not. So I think that it is very disturbing at the time when we are expecting states, public servants and officers of the state to really be united in their action, in their narrative against Galamsey. I find this to be very, very disturbing. And then the other aspect I need to mention is that, look, we also, as say the IGP and the police team on the ground, we need to really work together with other state agencies like NIMOS so that there is no doubt as to really who is going after these miners and all of that. I think that's also an important thing, that so that they can have the necessary reinforcement that is needed, and then all of these empires that we experience with miners attacking. And even with that said, look, there is no reason why citizens, if you really say you are doing something legitimate, you should still attack the police as they did. This, for me, was more like a gang war that was happening, and the police had to step in and make sure that the people who are engaged in some of these activities are apprehended. So I think it's not a very healthy development seeing communities stand, some communities stand or miners stand and face the police as they did. And really, we need to make sure we get to the bottom of this. And if the DCE or people in the community, anybody who was involved in this, the people need to be arrested. And we do. I think the impunity that is creeping up is not healthy, and we need to really get to the bottom of this.
What precise action would you want to see taking in this regard, especially because we understand the National Security has instituted investigations into this particular incident?
Alfred, you see, the government has not done justice to a lot of the demands that we'll be making, that some of these processes, when they start, they need to make sure it's open book, it's very transparent, and nobody is given the opportunity to hide behind a big man or something. So if they have initiated investigations into the matter, they need to make sure that they are transparent, they keep the public updated about the development, and we know really if the police were at fault, we know about it. If the community or whoever was involved, the miners, whoever was involved, let's get to know. I think transparency and accountability is key here. And once they've started an investigation, let's get to the bottom of it, let's finish it, but it needs to be also open, and everybody who is found culpable should be made to face some accountability or consequences for that. And in all of these things must be open at all times. So far, we've been calling for transparency and openness, but we are not getting it, and that could also be derailing effort for people to have confidence in the process. And that can really hamper every effort to try and get people to stop all the impunity that they are going about doing.
What would be fueling, in your view, this level of impunity, that the community would have that kind of reasoning, the confidence, in fact, to mobilize and attack a police task force that was also armed? At least with the video that we saw, we had them firing warning shots to ward off the community members.
You've asked a very good question, Alfred, and it's one thing that, this morning within the Ghana Coalition, we were asking ourselves, with this kind of brazen audacity, we still do not understand why the government is dragging its feet. Because, Alfred, it's only a state of, I would say, breakdown of law and order that you see this kind of brazen impunity, to even have the audacity to engage the police, who are also fully armed. It's only some audacity, some notoriety that is creeping into the system. It has been in the system for a while. We have been playing with it, and it's now really getting out of hand, Alfred. So I think that this matter, whatever investigation they say they are doing, they need to be very thorough and ensure that we understand what really ignited this kind of exchange between the police and the people who are engaging, who are doing the mining activity. It's really, really getting out of hand now.
And Darryl, I want you to kindly take a listen to the DCE again, because of that defense that he puts across, that for him, he has already instituted investigation. Bear in mind, he is the chair of the District Security Council as well. So if there's any investigation at all that he has instituted, there should be that call as well. The likes of Ken Ashigbe have advocated a call for a higher up investigation beyond what the district is doing, because he's already concluded on an investigation that has not ended as yet. I want you to take a listen to him. That's quite worrying. That's you as the DCE.
You see, we are all fighting against this illegal mining, and none of us is condoning that act. You understand? Ever since I Zoom office, I've engaged more than 20 communities, explaining to them the dangers of what they are doing. So if they are doing mining, I should be able to know, because I know the process, like how they do their mining. You understand? And I know if someone is also taking sand to build, I also know that. That's why I'm saying that what they were doing wasn't mining. Because in the mining, it involves excavator, their pump machines and other stuff. But when they went there was no pumping machine. There was only excavator and a tipper truck loading a sand.
Yes, but then the commander knows what he saw. That's why he said they were mining. But you say you know exactly what's going on and that they were not mining. But you were not at the site because you concede that you weren't there, correct?
Yes.
So you were told about what happened, but the commander was there. Commander insists that they were mining. You say they weren't mining based on what you were told by the community members.
It's a mining area, and it's a mining site where he met the excavator and the truck. It's a mining site. That is why maybe he's conceiving that they were mining.
So in the end, as the commander insists that they were mining, what are you, the chair of the District Security Council, going to do?
That's why I said I've instituted an investigation team to go on ground to ascertain what the true picture is.
I see, but it appears that already the conclusion is made, and the outcome of this investigation you have instituted, which is not concluded yet, is already known. No, I'm saying that because you have instituted investigations have not ended yet, but you are telling me now that you believe they were not mining. So if the investigation comes out and they say they were actually mining.
I was explaining to the process in mining. Those who mine, they have their pumping machines, their washing plants and other stuff. You understand? So if you meet excavator and a tipper truck, you cannot conclude it's a mining.
Well, Darryl, so that's just DCE. I just spoke to.
Yes, Alfred. I think maybe, as you have already indicated, there needs to be some higher up investigation rather than leave it to the dissect, as it is, to deal with this matter. And that's why we think that this effort of people going to the ground to even deal with illegal mining needs to be well coordinated. There needs to be a higher up, I'll say, command unit that is coordinating and ensuring that we avoid some of these incidents where the DCE on the ground who is in charge of the jurisdiction is saying the activity is not mining. The commander who came from elsewhere to go and also undertake some enforcement activity is saying that they saw mine. So I believe we need to have some higher, and these are the things that we expect the Ministry of Lands to be very much interested in. The Ministry of Interior should also pay attention to this and just not leave the discussion to the DCE and the commander as is happening right now. I think we really need to be bolder than we have been. There's too much going wrong, and it's not good that we are sitting for these issues to play out as it is in the public domain also in particular. People are really now going to doubt what is really happening between the people, the DC on the ground and also the police command, which can even affect every other engagement they go to and they undertake elsewhere within their jurisdiction.
Darryl, appreciate you for this. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, Alfred.
Darryl also is Deputy Director of IT and also the Programs Manager for the Arocha Ghana. That is one of the NGOs leading this fight against Galamsey in this country. Darryl Bosso, thank you. And you're still live here on Hot Edition. Let's go to some matters related to the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU. They are raising concerns about the current state of the Nsawam Pokuase Road.
Yes, they are actually threatening to demonstrate against government over the delay in fixing the Pokuase-Nsawam road. In a statement issued on August 14, the group lamented that the deplorable state of the road has made it unmotorable and poses extreme dangers to motorists, commuters, and residents along the Pokuase-Nsawam stretch. The commercial transport operators say they continue to grapple with high operational costs due to the bad nature of the road, which requires frequent maintenance and changing of spare parts. The drivers are therefore threatening to park their vehicles and embark on a protest against government of their concerns if their concerns are not addressed in a week. Alfred.
We're trying to get through to Abbas Imaro. He is head of industrial relations for the GPRTU, and the threat that they have just given notice of if government does not moving to address these concerns of the nature of the road, they will go on a demonstration. Stay with us, we'll get some more into this here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Keep your thoughts, views, comments, and opinions coming through at 3FM 927. Read out to you and to the rest of the world. We're learning today that the government has officially invited United States forensic experts to assist in the ongoing investigation into the August 6 military helicopter crash that killed 8 people, including 2 cabinet ministers. The move is a response to a directive from the President, John Dramani Mahama, who has vowed to leave no stone unturned to determine the exact cause of the tragic incident. The crash sent shockwaves across the nation, given the high-profile nature of the victims. The Ghana Air Force Z9 helicopter was on a mission to launch a community mining scheme aimed at combating illegal mining, locally known as Galamsey. The incident not only resulted in the loss of prominent figures, but also threatened to derail a key government initiative. Now, speaking to the press after the signing of a book of condolences, so we're learning today that the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Blakwa, confirmed the invitation extended to the American experts. Samuel Blakwa revealed that a mini cabinet meeting was held earlier in the day today to address the tragedy, and now we know that there has been also an invitation to the United States experts, forensic experts, to help in unraveling the cause of this crash. Take a listen to Blakwa earlier today.
To you that you are going to see a fight that has never been witnessed in this country. President Mahama is going to lead a very ruthless and relentless campaign against Galamsey. He has not minced words at all. We had a brief cabinet meeting earlier today, and the president was very clear. There was no ambiguity that he will be leading a war that we have never seen to deal with this counter, this existential threat, once and for all.
Samuel Okoje-Ablakwa is Foreign Affairs Minister of the Republic of Ghana. So live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Your thoughts, views, comments, and opinions are welcome and read out to you and to the rest of the world. Let's go on to some more stories here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. The United States has raised concerns over Ghana's long and indefinite pre-trial detentions, cautioning that the practice of holding people without formal charges or arrest won't undermine the rule of law if not checked. In its 2024 Human Rights Report on Ghana, the United States cited instances where suspects have also spent more than 48 hours behind bars waiting for trial than the maximum sentence for their alleged crime. In one case, up to 11 years. Now, the report blames poor police investigation, missing case files, endless adjournments, tough bail conditions, and the lack of legal aid. It also accuses security officers of using torture and excessive force, including beating, to force confessions, while most victims stay silent out of fear. The report also highlights restrictions on freedom of expression and media freedom, citing them as human rights violations. Now, if you go on our Facebook page, we're showing you the specific instances that was referenced by this particular report on the human rights in Ghana. The government took limited steps, according to this report, to identify and punish officials who committed human rights abuses. And then also the political party operatives verbally harassed academics on social media platforms and on radio for expressing critical or divergent opinions. There were also general practice of holding detainees without proper warrant or charge. Significant human rights issues included credible reports of arbitrary arrest or detention and serious restrictions on freedom of expression and media freedom as well. Now, Austin Bracco Powers is a private legal practitioner joining us. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Hot Edition. Arbitrary arrest, detention, serious restrictions on freedom of expression and media freedom. Is this a fair reflection of the state of affairs as captured in this report?
Alfred, thank you. Let me say a good evening to your listeners. And you know, I'm asking myself, is there anything in the report that we didn't already know? I mean, this report is merely a gentle reminder of what we all know to be happening in the country. These are issues, Alfred, yourself and your colleagues have been reporting on day in and out. I mean, on end. But as typical of Ghanaian leadership, the only time we see them act is when their own problems and that of their citizens are recounted to them by our citizens. So, like you said, so now let's delve into what the United States Department of State is saying about Ghana. Because I'm sure you are aware, civil society groups have been talking about this, the unwarranted detention of suspects beyond 48 hours. And the maltreatment of suspects by the police and other security agencies. These are issues, Alfred, your Gusab and your colleagues have been reporting on day in and out. And the government, our governments, both past and current, are aware of these issues. But like I said, we often than not, we don't act on these issues when they are put out by our own people. We only tend to act on them when outsiders come out to tell us. So clearly, people are being detained beyond 48 hours. And we know that this attitude runs counter to the provision of the 1992 Constitution. That is specifically Article 14.3. That when you detain or arrest somebody for the purpose of detention and you are not willing to release the person, within 48 hours, produce the person to court and let the court decide the person. Let the court decide the person's fate, or let the court decide the person's fate. But often than not, security operatives tend to keep suspects beyond 48 hours, and sometimes they impose harsher bail conditions, and they tell you that because you're unable to meet the bail terms, then you fail to exit, or you fail to bail yourself out so that you can be set free. I mean, and these are issues we all know, and I think it's refreshing that the Department of State is also reminding us that these are the things you are not doing, and they also hinted at non-implementation of or uneven implementation of laws. So they cited issues with regard to workers not being well protected, factory inspectors who are supposed to inspect the conditions some workers are operating within, or the conditions workers operate. They are not well trained to even detect faults. These are people who are expected to make sure that workers are in an environment congenial for their health and safety. These people are not well trained, and we know this when you look at the factories, offices, and shops at 1970 at 328. It has an elaborate system to make sure that we have well-trained inspectors, office inspectors. But often these are factory inspectors. We don't do this. We treat our own laws with disdain and shabbiness. So these are not anything new. We all know about this. They also talk about the Labor Act.
But the point is that is that to say that this is really a bad verdict on the justice delivery system. If what you're saying is anything to go by, and the fact that yes, it reflects to the extent that we do know the realities that we're faced with when it comes to these arbitrary detentions and so on. What has to be done? What has to be done, really? I
think clearly, Alfred, you are aware there's a pending matter before the Supreme Court on this issue, the detention of suspects beyond 48 hours. Abrunye sent a matter to court for the Supreme Court to make a determination. Now, hopefully, Alfred.
But I thought this matter of the number of hours a suspect can be kept has been dealt with in Bibu number 2 and 3, is it not?
Exactly. This was dealt even the final decision that was 2019, the Supreme Court decision on Martin Kwebu and the attorney. This has been dealt with, but sometimes because the decision was made and no consequential orders were made, sometimes you have to now go to the Supreme Court and say, so what should be done? What should happen to these security office operatives who appear to detain or tend to detain suspects beyond the 48-hour threshold? You understand? So even though, as you well articulated, there's been a pronouncement, Supreme Court, a major pronouncement on the level of detention. Surprised you to, I'm not sure you'll be surprised to know that these things are still ongoing. People are still being detained beyond 48 hours. So it's a stark reminder of what we have been talking about, and we need to act on it. I think the Supreme Court now has a fine opportunity with a case pending before them to make a final pronouncement on this matter, so that it will now regulate the way our police and Yoko now is in the habit of detaining people beyond 48 hours when they know that they are supposed to release the person. Within 48 hours, or produce a person to court and justify why you are unable to release a person. These are matters we want the Supreme Court to just make a final pronouncement on, so that we will move forward. Because it looks like after we are not making any progress. We are still talking about things that we were supposed to have acted on them as a country, and we are leaving the things that we are supposed to act on them immediately. So we are dealing with past issues instead of dealing with present issues. So now the past issues is now taking the space of the present issues. Then future issues now will be taken over by the present issues. So we are not really making progress as a people. We have laws that are not working.
Right.
We have institutions that are supposed to implement them, but they are not doing that.
And I do thank you for your analysis on this matter. Austin Pokuase is private legal practitioner. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition. Now on to some worrying development in the news we've been following quite closely. And a tragedy struck Esukoko, a community in the Krachi East municipality of the Oti region, after a fuel tanker ran into a crowd at the local market earlier today, killing 4 and injuring 14 others, according to the assembly member for the Esukoko electoral area. Now, that's Mark Odro. The deceased persons included 3 women and 1-year-old girl. That's the development right now of this rather unfortunate incident today. There's some 2 hours ago, this incident occurred at the Sukoko electoral area in the Oti region among some market women who were conducting their business when the tanker driver lost control of the vehicle and crashed into them, leading to the death of 3 women and a 1-year-old girl, and some 14 others who have sustained various degrees of injury. We'll keep an eye on this one and be updating you subsequently.
The Electoral Commission today conducted the balloting for the Akwatia by-election as political activities pick up ahead of September 2. NPP's candidate is number 1 and that of NDC number 2. Beatrice Adu is in Akwatia for us, and here is her report.
The atmosphere is quite calm here within the Akwatia township, currently located around the central business area, where I'm sure you can hear in the background a lot of activities going on here. And it is also the same place where the office of the governing NDC is, where you can see women and men dressed in NDC colors, some of them selling party paraphernalia, busily campaigning, well, indirectly and silently, ahead of the September 2 parliamentary election. By now, you would know that this is going to be a very fiercely contested parliamentary primary, with a survey coming from the Global Info Analytics indicating that the MPP is leading by 6%. Now, when you're entering the town, you will see huge billboards of the opposition MPP's candidate Solomon Asumedu, with a bit of a little picture of the late MP Eric Kumi attached to the photo of the candidate, kind of confirming the opinion that indeed the opposition MPP would like to count on sympathy votes. And so that's practically what's happening here. But there's not a lot of political activity or campaigning going on in the town. But I just told you, I'm currently at the office of the NDC, and the parliamentary candidate is here, lawyer Bernard Bediako Beidu. Hello, sir. You're welcome to TV3.
Thank you.
And I want to first find out from you your preparations and what it is looking like, even in terms of security.
Okay, thank you so much. As you can see, we are very much prepared. You can see our cars are lined up. We are almost on our way to some other towns within the community. Today is a market day for Akwatia, and so you can see a lot more people are in town. And fortunately for us, our party office is so close to the market. And so we will start off with the market, get to speak to the people, let them understand the need for them to vote for me and then the NDC, so as to facilitate development within the Akwatia enclave.
Let me tell you that today the Electoral Commission had the balloting for the candidate, and we do understand that the NDC parliamentary candidate that I'm talking to right now was number 2, and then the MPP candidate Solomon Asumedu was number 1. We understand that there are 2 other political parties that are taking part in this parliamentary primary. But lawyer, let me ask you, there are a lot of critics who think that all along when you were working with a defeated parliamentary MP, perhaps you were working against him because you unseated him and now you're the candidate.
No, I mean, we've gone past the stage. I always say that this is no issue at all, because this is a political party. I'm not just a lawyer. I was also the constituency secretary. So even as I was working in court, I was also representing my party as the constituency secretary. We've gone past the stage. As you can see, if there was any issue between myself and the Honorable Yadom Boache, if you've seen in the news and on social media, I'm always with him. In fact, this morning, he's even around. He's in the office. I was even having a chat with him. All is well. It's virtually the same. It's still the same party. We are united. We know what we're doing, and so that issue is no issue at all. I've never worked against him. I went all out in the interest of the party.
The Ablekuma North election rerun has caused a lot of fears in people that there could be violence again. What is your commitment to peaceful elections, a parliamentary primary on the 2nd of September?
Yeah, very well. I mean, I'm grateful for this question. Let me be very blunt here. Look, nothing will happen in this constituency. Nothing will happen.
Remenio Election Command Center. For business this evening, the Office of the Attorney General is urging an Accra High Court to strike out yet another case filed by the Chief Justice Gertrude Tukonum. The Chief Justice is in court once again, seeking to halt the ongoing impeachment process, insisting one of the entities behind the petition, Shining Stars of Ghana, does not have a legal status. Documents filed on behalf of the Attorney General by the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Shemsai, wants the High Court to rule that the Chief Justice's request has no basis in law. Let's walk you through parts of the document filed on behalf of the Attorney General. The details of the AG's argument. One, that a case filed by the Chief Justice discusses issues meant for in-camera removal proceedings. Also, the issues are therefore not admissible in court. Plus, Shining Stars of Ghana might be an unincorporated body of persons. Such an entity does not necessarily have to be incorporated or registered to exist in law. That's according to the argument the Attorney General is making. Plus, the court ought to exercise jurisdiction to strike out the case filed by the suspended Chief Justice. So that's the development in there. We're back shortly after this quick break. Getting to business. Bismarck Awusa is standing by after this quick break. Stay with us.
Tunes in sync with a soothing voice. 3 Lounge with AJ.
Are you tired of the same old routine? Need a break from the stress and chaos of everyday life? Well, step into the 3 Lounge, your world of absolute relaxation and great music with yours truly, AJ Akwatia-Nsawam. Welcome to the best mid-morning show in the capital and beyond. This is 3 Lounge, yours truly, your radio princess, AJ Akwatia-Nsawam.
Love it. I love it. It's great.
Kickstart your week with Monday motivation, shake off the Tuesday blues, and get ready for midweek mania. Take a trip down memory lane on Throwback Thursday and wrap up the week with Funky Friday with myself and Helen Appiah Ampufo. Plus, enjoy exciting celebrity interviews, insightful conversation, engaging discussions on topics that matter, and there's a boatload of fun and easy activations that reward and appreciate you, our loyal listener.
If you are listening, we're manifesting money into your pocket this morning.
Don't miss out on the excitement. Tune in to 3 Lounge every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. with AJ Akwatia-Nsawam only on 3FM 92.7.
It's my number one.
92.7 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the business segment on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Awusa. Coming up tonight, World Bank projects 0.6 percentage point increase in Ghana's revenue boost for 2025 tax measures if they are fully implemented. This story and others lined up for you. Please stay. Thanks for your company. Now to the details. The World Bank says Ghana could generate extra revenue equal to 0.6% of GDP in 2025, but only if government fully enforces the tax and spending reforms in the 2025 budget. The bank says these measures are also vital to meeting targets under the IMF-supported program. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk report. The latest Ghana economic update from the World Bank projects that Full implementation of planned revenue measures could boost Ghana's income by at least 0.6% of GDP next year. World Bank Country Director Robert Taliesio says the gains will require strict enforcement of the tax exemption law, creation of a comprehensive tax expenditure register, and stronger capacity at the Ghana Revenue Authority to roll out the integrated tax administration system and conduct risk-based audits. The bank also wants government to fully adopt public financial management tools such as the Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System and the Ghana Electronic Procurement System across all state institutions. It further recommends integrating all spending accounts into the Treasury single account to improve transparency and control. The report concludes that better tax administration, a wider tax base, and stronger public finance controls are essential for sustainable fiscal consolidation. And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on the World Bank projecting 0.6 percentage points revenue boost for Ghana if 2025 tax measures are fully implemented. Before we go, the Ghana Stock Exchange cemented its position as Africa's top performing market in 2024, posting its highest annual return in over a decade amid record trading volumes, soaring market capitalization, and strong investor confidence. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more.
The Ghana Stock Exchange was the shining star of Africa's capital markets in 2024, delivering its strongest performance in more than 10 years. Figures from the Bank of Ghana's 2024 Financial Stability Review show that trading activity surged with 992 million shares changing hands, far higher than the 579 million recorded in 2023. The total value of trades jumped to 2.15 billion cedis from 818 million the year before, reflecting heightened investor interest and market liquidity. The information and communication technology sector led the charge, supported by solid performances from the financial sector and exchange-traded funds. Market capitalization ended the year at 111 billion Ghana cedis, up from an impressive 50% from 74 billion cedis in 2023, buoyed by a sustained rally in share prices and the listing of Atlantic Lithium and Carbank preference shares. The Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index gained 56.2% in 2024, its best return since 2013, while the Financial Stocks Index climbed 25.2%. Analysts say the stellar performance has deepened market participation, reinforced investor confidence, and strengthened Ghana's reputation as a key investment destination on the continent.
And that 3 Business News Desk report bringing us to the end of the business segment on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. Orekwampof is here for sports. Please stay.
Good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. My name is Orekwampof. We start off from our first story where Accra Heart of Folk and Accra Lions have promised fans excitement and entertainment ahead of the 2025 edition of the Homo World Cup, which takes place on Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Speaking at a press conference, the two coaches spoke about their readiness for the match.
Around the pre-season period is very, very important for clubs and then to teams. And they wouldn't have been in another better moment rather to have it at this period when you needed to play high-profile games, even though someone would say in some jurisdiction it's very early periods in terms of the preparation period. But I think that it is better to take what you don't ask for rather than to be looking for it. Getting the right cohesion in terms of a new blend of players, and then also a moment of where you have new technical base working together as a clear team in preparation for the longer periods of the season. And so I would say that we wouldn't have asked for any other moment rather than this period. And so preparation has been very, very cordial. Slowly we are putting up the loading gradings.
Come, my brother Didi, for seeing this trophy once. I have seen it twice. Last season we were so humbled, very happy to be invited to participate in this August tournament. We came, we saw, we couldn't conquer. This time around we are in again. I think we are not coming to just see it and leave it and go. We are preparing as we prepared for last season. The only thing is that we have augmented the team a little. And so we are coming to play football, for people to see football, how football is played. As for the prediction, I will leave it with the journalists to predict. But at the end of the day, I think the better side will carry the day.
So that was head coach of Hearts of Lions, Bashir Hayford, speaking. And before that, we also had Didi Dramani, who is the head coach for Hearts of Oak, speaking ahead of the Homo Cup on Sunday. Now, Ghana midfielder Mohamed Kudus expresses disappointment with a defeat to Paris Saint-Germain in the UEFA Super Cup final, which took place on Wednesday. Spurs raced into a 2-goal lead and were just minutes away from a maiden Super Cup trophy. However, an impressive late comeback from Paris Saint-Germain forced the game into penalty shootouts, which also saw the French side eventually defeat Tottenham Hotspur on the shootout as well. Kudus says that the team are down at the moment, but would be picking lessons ahead of the new season.
You know, this is a big lesson to stay focused for the whole 90 minutes, you know. But I'm really proud of the team for their work ethic, their energy, because I think we had them for the whole most part of the game. Just the last part that we need to keep the full concentration. But we take this as a lesson. We have a game on the weekend and full focus on that.
And so that was Mohamed Kudus. Now, before we go, the Ghana Football Association has announced a 2-year partnership deal with MTN as a sponsor, a headline sponsor for 4 national teams as the Black Stars, the Black Queens, Ghana's under-20 team for the men, and Ghana's men under-17 team, while they also sponsor the under-19 regional championships. There will be more details on this on our social media handles at 3 Sports GH as we bring an end to the sports segment here on Hot Edition, and also to a conclusion of the entire Hot Edition show here on 3FM 92.7. We'll be back again same time tomorrow. My name is Oreku Ampofu.